even as we wait to delve into the matter of the day. I think I will go first with Dorothy. Please tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Dorothy, and thank you, Zion Paul, for the opportunity. So my name is Dorothy Chepkoech. I am a certified public accountant. I am a certified internal auditor, a certified risk management assurer, and so many other certifications. But the long and short of it is that I'm an internal auditor by profession, and I run a consultancy firm called Dorothy and Associates, where we offer governance, risk management, and control compliance services. That's what I do as a vocation or as a career. So I have a history in banking spanning over 17 years and left about 1.5 years ago to start the consultancy. When I'm not doing that, I am a mother, I am a wife, and I'm also very passionate about documenting stories so that we somehow it's the story of mentorship. Mine is about passion about mentorship, and writing our stories talking about what we have done, I believe, is lighting the path or giving people tips on what they want or what they can do or how they can do it from our own experiences, so the people that come after us don't have to grow up in the dark. That's my passion. Other than that, I am a patriot and I love what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorothy. We are getting to know you. We believe as the conversation continues, we get to know you more. For from the abundance of the heart, a person speaks. So we are looking forward to getting to hear more from you. Sylvia, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, hi, good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see all of you here to listen to what we have to say. We are really honored to be part of this. Personally, I would like to really thank Zion Powell for this opportunity, for us to even be able to tell our stories. So my name is Sylvia Kaberia. I am a brand storyteller, a certified digital marketer, and an entrepreneur who has done several businesses. I'm a 4 times founder, and currently I run 2 organizations. One is called ABW Marketing, which is fully integrated marketing and PR agency, and an organization called eDigital Connect, which is an ecosystem for people in digital and tech sectors. And I am very, very passionate about digital transformation. So I am a digital transformation advocate. I believe that it is time for Africa and it is time for us as Africans to step out there and, make the change that we have been seeing other continents making. And it is time for us to move forward, especially through digital transformation. So I run several forums to educate people about digital transformation, how they can embrace it and make their professions and their businesses better, and as well as even give people opportunities to learn a few digital and tech skills here and there. I have a little bit of experience in and knowledge around tech, as well as a lot of experience around digital marketing. So normally my work involves helping brands and professionals tell their brand stories in a better way and be able to connect with their audiences authentically. So that's me. And yes, I'm very, very honored to be here this evening.
Thank you, Sylvia, for that detailed intro. We are also very eager to get to hear what you have for us today, even as we look forward to the upcoming launch on the 13th of December. So we are going to be having some conversations around specific areas, just like I have mentioned. Getting to know you, of course, is very important, and we have dealt with that part. We are also very interested in knowing what really inspired you to co-author this book. And so you're going to tell us a little bit about that. And to begin with, I would want to know from Dorothy. Dorothy, what does the title, How We Rise and Thrive, mean to you in the context of your personal and professional journey? And Dorothy dropped off. No, she's there. You're welcome, Dorothy. Can I repeat the question, or you got it?
Just, I think I got it. What How We Rise means for me.
Yes, please go ahead.
So, the title of the book, How We Rise and Thrive, for me, it generally reflects my life, like all the way from childhood to where I am today. It's a continuous growth process. Sometimes there's an up, there's a down, but it's a continuous growth process. And for me to be able to relate to the title of the book, it's easy because I'm just documenting my story, how I started out, how I went through the challenges, how I overcame them, and how I'm continuously using those opportunities and the lessons that come with it to continuously rise. And while at the same time, to learn or to understand that we don't just rise, but we also must enjoy the journey, because we don't want to reach the end of the journey and then find out that kumbe part of it or kumbe most of it was in the journey. So mine is to continuously try to be present in my journey. And by documenting that story or by relating to the title of the book, it's, again, I keep saying it's easy for me to relate or to document it because it's a true, authentic story of my journey from childhood up to where I am, and also with a vision of where I want to get to in future. And thriving for me means, and this is something you realize at a point in your life, that you must also enjoy, you must also find happiness in that journey of yours, in the growth process, in the rising process. So that is what it means for me, Dorothy.
Thank you, Dorothy. It's good to know what it means to you, and I'm getting your explanation. It's simply a representation of where you're coming from and where you are at right now and where you're looking forward to, or where you desire to be. Thank you. Sylvia, would you also attend to this same concern? What does the title, How We Rise and Thrive, mean to you in the context of your personal and professional journey?
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. So, for me, how we rise and thrive is very personal, because personally, if I would begin to tell you guys my story, I think it would take a lot of time. It would take days, and it would take a lot of emotional strength. So for me, rising does not only mean getting from one lower point to an higher point, but more of the resilience that we require for us to push through and rise. And every time, and I'm going to say this because this is a book that is telling about the stories of different women in leadership. For me, I would say I would like to really apologize to the women in leadership, in top positions, wherever you are, whether it's in business, at your workplace, wherever you are working, the organizations that you are affiliated to. I would apologize if I ever told someone, the first thing I ever told a woman that I met, a lady that I met somewhere, is that you're looking good, or you're beautiful. All that is very good, but the first thing that I would have told you is you are amazing for the resilience that took you to that position where you are. So for me, this is a very personal journey, and I would like to keep it short, because if I start, I'm not going to keep quiet. So this is a very personal story for me.
It's okay to speak. We are here to listen to you. And we love it when those stories are very authentic, when they're very personal, they come out with power. And so as much as we really want you not to bring out everything, feel free to let us get a feel of what you're actually feeling about the work you have done and what has inspired you to be part of the same. Now,
Absolutely.
Dorothy, you have told us, yeah, that's okay. You have told us what the title of the book means to you. Now, could you please share with us, what was your inspiration? How did you get to become part of these phenomenal ladies that have written this book? What inspired you?
Dorothy, I am an internal auditor by profession. So for me to be able to actually come up front and document this story, it took a lot of self-convincing and in audit, we say you trust, but you verify. So you must be able to substantiate or give evidence of, for example, an audit finding that you find. So for me, what inspired me, Doso from Zion Pal reached out to me in LinkedIn and told me about the project that they're doing and invited me to a launch. So first, when the discussion began, as an auditor, we are very skeptical. So I kept on asking, so what is this about? Which other people are in this project? And Doso was very patient and invited me. I decided to come to the launch, saw what was happening. Actually, the day I attended the first launch, I think it was How We Rise Volume 1. I'm not sure which one, but when I attended and saw how the women were documenting their stories, how inspirational it was, I actually picked every lesson from each lady. And for me, I was actually convinced to move on and document my story also, because I knew it would touch somebody in a unique way, in a way that can only be my story that touches somebody who could relate to that story. So that was the inspiration for me. I saw the impact of a genuine story. I saw the impact of a mentorship story that is very authentic, that is very personal and vulnerable. And that moved me to want to actually participate. And that's how I'm here today. Thank you.
Thank you for saying yes and choosing to be part of this great work. We know that lives will be impacted and transformed just because you chose to write your story. I think it would be only fair enough to allow Sylvia to say something about her own inspiration. Sylvia, can we get to hear what your own is? Okay. Looks like, from my view, it looks like Sylvia dropped off. Hopefully she's joining back, but we will have to proceed. So Dorothy, this is another opportunity for you. And maybe we would just want to know, was there a particular audience or type of readers you had in mind while writing your chapter, and why?
Dorothy, just go slightly back on the part of saying yes. It was actually in that part, in the launch I attended, when Doso said, and one of the other writers also said, when an opportunity knocks, you first say yes, then later find out the kind of upskilling you need to get there. So from that day, I actually learned, nowadays I say yes to opportunities, and then I learn, and that's how we are there. So just to answer your question, the kind of audience, now, don't tell me I'm a village girl. I grew up in the village. I went to school in the village. I am a thoroughbred village girl. So my audience is that village girl that, because when you're growing up in the village, the horizon is that village. You don't know that there's a big town called Nairobi. You don't know there's a world. So for me, when I was writing, I was speaking to the village girl inside me and the village girl that is still in the village and may not have the opportunity to experience that beyond that horizon. So as I write, I tell them that I am a girl from the village, and this is the story of how to rise and how to thrive, and that it is possible to actually come from the village and launch into the world. That's my audience, Dorothy.
That village girl.
Yes.
And we have a lot of them in the cities today. You know,
Yes.
we are many here. We came from the village and here we are in the city. So thank you for thinking about that village girl and just, wanting to make an impact in their life by sharing where you are coming from and where you are. It's a proof that it is possible. it is possible to rise and thrive. Thank you, Dorothy. And I can see Sylvia is back. Sylvia, we missed you a little bit. Are you ready for us?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I don't know. My mic just went mute and I couldn't turn it on. Yeah, so could you please rephrase my question? I think I lost you at some point.
Okay. I wanted you to share with us what inspired you to co-author this book with the other ladies, your inspiration.
Oh, okay. So when I got the invite to become one of the co-authors, I remember reading that long explanation that was sent to me. And okay, being a brand storyteller, sometimes, especially for me, I feel like every time I get an opportunity to share my story, I get to inspire people. And even in the forums that I've gotten the opportunity to, go out there and share my story in one way or the other, there's always feedback. There's always very good feedback of people telling me that I inspired them, and that's what I live for. If I'm able to inspire someone and make them take the next step into their growth, in one way or the other, I always feel like that's my purpose. And when I saw that, and I mean, for me, I was like, this is an opportunity for me to share my story. It doesn't matter if I'm sharing with 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, someone is going to get inspired either way. So I was like, okay, let's go on with it. So I remember telling my PA about it, and she was like, okay, let's take it on. Let's share the story, because I mean, either way, whether this book gets published or not, at some point, this story is going to go out there. And I remember every time, the funny thing is, most of the people that know me, that have gotten to work with me, most of the people that have gotten to hear my story in one way or the other, are always telling me, you know what, Sylvia, you are going to write a book one day. So I was like, oh, this is an opportunity to try it out, because I am a brand storyteller. I love telling stories. And when an opportunity comes for me to tell my story, that's an honor. So for me, I felt that it was an honor and a very good opportunity to get to inspire people.
Thank you, Sylvia. So your intention is to inspire somebody, and actually that is what is already happening, because we already have this already going out, and we know people's lives are going to be impacted. So this webinar is brought to us just to bring to our attention by Zion Pearl Publishers, the organization behind the project, under the leadership of Mr. Dooso Radido, who is the founder and director of Zion Pearl Publishers. The book we're talking about is to be launched on the 13th of December at the Trademark Hotel. And so we have a registration form that will be shared in the chats. If you want to be part of the experience on the launch day, you can fill out the form, and it has guidelines on what you need to do and how you can be part of that experience when the day comes. If you just want to pre-order a copy of the book, probably because your schedule will not permit you to be part of the launch experience, we also have an order form available for you. You can make your order. We will see to it that when the book is ready, it is delivered to you. We are also available to answer your questions, to attend to your concerns. If there's anything you need to know from us, our contacts and details will also be shared in the chat. So look out for those three details: the launch registration form, the book order form, and Zion Pearl Publishers contacts, as they will be shared in the chat. So we proceed with our conversation. You know, we are so looking forward to this day. And we know that as we gather together, a lot of things will happen. And we shall look into that even as we proceed. Now, I wanted to know, I know someone doesn't just wake up one day and begin, I'm writing. If you're writing something, you must have thought about it, you must have thought the possibility of being able to finish it and present it as a work done by yourself. So I know maybe because this was an invitation, there could have been some experiences you had during your writing. And so my question is, were there any complexities that you people encountered during your writing? And if yes, how did you overcome them? And I think, Sylvia, I want you to go first.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Doti. So, well, for me, first of all, one of the reasons why I have never written a book by until this point is the fact that I get to think about sitting down and writing and writing and writing. And for me, I feel like I would not be able to do it because some of the stories that I would tell are stories that I would really do not personally would not want to revisit. So I remember when I sat down and I started writing my chapter, it was more of a roller coaster. I was like, am I ready to share a bit of it? Because it's a bit of it. It's actually not everything because it's a chapter. But I felt that through the writing, I got to learn and as well as revisit things that sometimes you see you make milestones in life and you don't see it because we are very busy doing one thing, doing another. We want to achieve this, achieve that, and we forget that we have a journey. It's a journey. We are walking through a journey. So sometimes you can't really feel it and the impact that you're making until you get to sit down and look back and get to reflect. So for me, writing that chapter was a moment of reflection, me looking back at some of the things that I had to do to get to where I am, as well as what I need to do to get to where I want to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you overcame, the fear of just sitting down and writing and writing. And look, now you're becoming a published author. So this is a good opportunity for you to move into the next stage of it. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for sharing. And Dorothy, would you please share with us your own experience? Were there any challenges that you went through and how did you overcome them?
Thank you, Dottie. Yes, there were challenges. So as a budding, starting out in consultancy, getting to, there's so many things you need to do. And when you're a sole proprietor, when you're starting out, you're the accountant, you're the administrator, you're the CEO. So there's a lot of things to be done. And there's a lot of activities to be done to build your brand, to be out there, to attend seminars, so there's a lot of activities. So my biggest challenge while trying to document this story was actually finding time to write and also finding a flow that, again, remember I'm an internal auditor, so I need to find a flow that is actually convincing to me first so that I'm able to convince by my story and the authenticity of it. So while I like to write, I do poems, I do short stories. The biggest challenge about writing about yourself is, I think when we're growing up, we are taught don't praise yourself, let the world praise you. Don't reveal too much about yourself. So I kept going back and forth trying to find, so what is the balance of saying what you still need to say, having a good flow, and also detailing your story in a way that is true and authentic. So for me, that was a challenge, but I overcame it by, again, remaining as authentic as possible while making sure everything that needs to be said is said correctly and in a flow that helps to tell the story in a very true and relatable version. So for me, the challenge was the time and also detailing the story without being, without being false, and also without revealing too much that it becomes uncomfortable. So that was my challenge, Dorothy.
Mm-hmm. And maybe just to add to another question to the question you have answered, Dorothy. Each of you wrote their chapter separately, but somewhere in the back of your mind, you knew we are doing this thing collectively. How did that influence your writing, knowing that somebody else is writing something somewhere to bring to be part of my own writing, and we are all writing under one title, How We Rise and Thrive? Did that affect you in any way, or how did it influence your writing experience?
For me, at some point, I was afraid, is my story too off, or will it be so different from others? Will it be, I think one of the things we battle a lot with is that either you're not good enough, or you are not in the same league, or there's that feeling you get. So there was that feeling that you don't know what the other people are writing about. Maybe you will be the outlier, maybe your story will not make sense, or maybe it will be. So there was that feeling. But the comfort I got to be able to document my story was that drive for being authentic. So I believe if everybody is authentic, then there's a place your story fits in the society, and it does not have to be like anybody else's. So for me, that is where I got the comfort to just document my personal story. Thank you.
So the fact that you're writing something authentic gave you the confidence to write
Yes.
it. As much as someone might come up with an interesting one, or whatever kind of writing they would bring on board, you are comfortable because you are writing an authentic story. And that is one thing we really focus on, that these stories are very authentic. We are not copy-pasting any other person's story. We are writing our very own stories. That is a good thing to know. Sylvia, did you have any experience with the fact that somewhere in the back of your mind you knew we are many writing, I'm writing my own, someone else is working on theirs? Did that affect you in any way?
Okay, yes, but I think for me, it's a little bit different because I thrive in communities, and anything that I get to do with other people really excites me. So for me, I felt that, and I believe everyone has a story, and everyone's story is okay to be told the way it is. So for me, I wasn't really scared because I believe that everyone's journey is different. But now I was actually a little bit excited to know that I'm doing this with a community of women in leadership. For me, that really inspired me.
So for you, it was like fish into the water. So it was an awesome experience. Thank you so much for sharing. This webinar is brought to us by Zion Pearl Publishers. It is a pre-launch webinar for the book, How We Rise and Thrive, that is set to be launched on the 13th of December at the Trademark Hotel. You are all invited to be part of that experience. Should your schedule permit you to join us on that day, we have a registration link shared in the chat. You can go in there, fill out your details, and see if you can be part of the launch on the 13th of December. We will also be having the books available for purchase very soon. If you want to pre-order a copy of the book, there is also a form for you to order a copy, and once ready, we will see to it that the book is delivered to you. And because sometimes people have questions, concerns, or they just need to get to know something, we are very open. You can reach out to us, get in touch with us on our contact details also shared in the chat. Thank you for joining us. And as we proceed with the conversation, we are entering into something interesting. And this is where now we get to get a glimpse of what our dear two sisters have written in their stories. And so, Dorothy, without giving away too much, what idea or story is in the center of your chapter?
Come again?
What is the idea of your chapter, or what story is your chapter all about?
Okay. So it's very hard it's like giving a child a cookie and telling them not to eat it, Dirty. You want me to talk about what I've written?
Could you raise your voice a little bit?
Okay, I'm saying.
Could you raise your voice a little bit?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was saying what you're asking of.
I can hear you.
Yeah, so
can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're breaking, so I don't know if it's your network. So I was saying, by asking me to talk about the idea in my story, without talking too much about it, is like giving a child a cookie and telling them not to eat it. So I would like to say the idea in my chapter is, again, I keep talking to that village girl. And in my chapter, I just document the story of this village girl and how this village girl is able to overcome the challenges and rise all the way to what is currently the mountaintop for her. So for me, it's a story of that it is possible to go through all these activities, to come from that background and still reach whatever mountaintop it is that you have decided is your goal. And that's basically the idea in my chapter. And I write also about my learnings in that journey and what thriving has been like, or what I've learned to be thriving as part of that journey. That is a sneak peek into what I write about in my chapter, Dorothy. I hope you heard me.
I like the carefulness not to give away too much.
I think we lost. Diana, can you hear Dorothy?
No, I'm not able to hear her. I think we've lost her.
Back.
Oh, she's back.
Yes, I'm back. So I was kicked out again. You know, we thank God for technology, and sometimes it takes control of us, and there's nothing much we can do. And I think I dropped off when I was just speaking, you know, just to also get to Sylvia, to also allow us to get a glimpse of what she has covered in her chapter that she feels will be impactful for the readers of the book. So Sylvia.
Thank you very much, Dorothy. I think
Sylvia, did you hear me?
Your Zoom is dragging. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hear you. I can hear you. Yes.
Yes. I don't know. I keep on losing your side. I think it could be my side that has an issue or yours. You can hear me?
I can hear you.
You want me to repeat the question? Yes.
No, I heard your question. I aren't very sure that you guys can hear me.
Okay, maybe everyone else can respond, but I can hear you now. Just by show of hand, indicate if you can hear Sylvia.
Yeah, I can hear her.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So my chapter is called Rising from Challenges. And my chapter is meant to motivate or encourage women that are maybe afraid to step out and do what they're passionate about, with the fear of probably you might not succeed, or you have too much in your plate, you won't be able to do this. So for me, my chapter is giving a focus to women who would like to go out there, overcome the challenges, take the challenges as stepping stones instead of letting challenges bring you down. So that's majorly what I'm talking about in my chapter.
Okay.
Dorothy, are you there?
Thank you, Sylvia. Yes, I'm here. I'm here and I'm on video. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Oh my.
Yes.
You can see me and you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, so internet. All in all, we thank God for the far we have come so far, and we know we must bring this to the very point we wanted to bring it. So then my next question would be, what makes this book, How We Rise and Thrive, what makes it unique compared to other leadership or self-help books? If you were to tell us a reason why it is unique, what would that be? Dorothy, what do you think makes this book unique, or what do you believe makes it unique?
Remember, Dottie, I told you that I am a patriot. So for me, the beauty of the book is that all of them are Kenyans, and I believe in Ubuntu. We do us. And patriotism is a first step to actually achieving any big activity or any big desire for any country. So I have read many books, many self-help books, but they always spoke about a world that is not of my own, about experiences that are not of my own. So the uniqueness of our book is that this is your regular Jen. This is the person you see in the office every other day. These are stories documented authentically from the Kenyan landscape, from the Kenyan corporate world, from the Kenyan entrepreneurship world, from the Kenyan streets, from the Kenyan villages. So for me, that is a uniqueness, because my village girl whom I'm speaking to is able to relate to this story. She's able to see that I went to that village school. And for me, that is the biggest way to impact or to mentor people, because they can relate to that story. They actually know kwenu ni huko now. That's as in it's relatable. And for me, that's the unique selling point. That is why this book for me is actually awesome, and all the other books that have been written by the ladies. Thank you.
Okay, I also love the idea that all the authors of this book are all Kenyans. So even as we share our stories, there are stories that our very own people first are able to identify with. So we're not reaching out for an audience far away from us. We are first trying to help and impact the lives of the people around us. Thank you, Dorothy. Sylvia, what explanation would you give to this concern or this question? What really makes this book stand out? There are many leadership books out there. There are many self-help books out there. What makes How We Rise and Thrive a unique one?
I think, thank you, Dottie. I think Dorothy put it out very well, and I share the same sentiments. Okay, for me, I believe that there are so many amazing stories of different people in our own community, in our own country. And most of the time, we don't even get to see the people around us, what they are doing in your house, at your workplace. There are several people that are doing amazing things. And the fact that we don't get to see that, we are always looking for people who are living miles away to tell their stories for us to get inspired. But this particular book is giving us an opportunity to get to hear from people that are within our community, people who are our own, people that we don't get to talk about a lot, nor even think about a lot, but are doing things that could really inspire and help us to become better in whatever we are doing. So the fact that we are all Kenyans, as Dorothy said, the fact that we are just, I don't like to say the word, I don't like to use the word ordinary, but we are just amazing people within the community that are waking up every day to make a change by what we do, and the fact that we get to tell our stories all collectively as a community and inspire our own people makes this book very, very, very unique.
Yeah, it's true. It's true because according to the much or the little that I know, this is the first ever anthology done in Kenya by purely Kenyans. I've not heard of any other, neither have I seen any other. So you being the first one is also something, something very huge. You're not just being part of an anthology, you're being the first one to ever be part of one by purely all Kenyans and primarily for fellow Kenyans. And then others can also read and be impacted. So it's a good thing that we have done. And for sure, your both statements really sit down. We just have a few days to the launch. We have started our countdown, and today we are at 11 days, and tomorrow we are at 10. Now, as the launch of the book comes closer, what do you as an author anticipate? You as an individual, what are you expecting? What are you looking forward to, even as the launch comes near? Dorothy.
I have had the privilege of attending a launch. So it is very exciting. And for me, there's something that happens when you hear a story from the horse's own mouth. So sometimes you read an inspiring book, but you'll never get to see that person. But the uniqueness about the launch or what I learned from the launch I attended is being able to hear that story from the horse's own mouth. You're able to see the emotions. You're able to see them tell you the story. It is so convincing that you do not come out the same. So I look forward to these other ladies' stories, the ones that I have not met, the ones I've just seen their photos, the ones I'm yet to hear about their story from their own description. For me, that is a powerful thing about it, to hear it from the person who has experienced it and to hear the tips and what you can pick from them individually. That's the powerful thing about the launch. And you get to meet with these people. You get to see that what they are telling you is actually their own personal story. And in the launch, you get to hear from all of them. And you get to see the emotions, you get to see the excitement, you get to celebrate. So it's a wonderful day that personally I'm looking forward to. And for all the people I've invited to come, I know they're also looking forward to that very moment when you get to relate with the person that is writing the story. Dorothy.
Great things to look forward to in the launch. Thank you so much, Dorothy. Sylvia, from your own end, what should the prospectors or the prospective attendees of the launch expect from the launch? We know we'll get the book, but is it just about the book? What more can they expect from the launch?
Okay, I live by the mantra that as a business person, you have to connect, interact, and learn with from other people for you to be able to shape your own journey. So the fact that we are all meeting together to celebrate the amazing co-authors who are now about to be called to gain the title published authors. For me, apart from the celebration bit of it and getting to hear the stories, as Dorothy has said, the other thing that I would like people to expect is an opportunity to interact, connect, and network with the people that will be becoming the delegates, the co-authors, as well as the publishers. Let us just come. Get this opportunity to network, share connections, make new friends, make new connections, even get business from it. At the end of the day, most of us are in business, and the fact that we get to a platform to hear these stories as well as make new connections, even for our own businesses, is a great opportunity for everyone, including those who are not authors for this particular book.
So there's a great opportunity of enlarging our networks, which for a business person is something very important. So if you're there, you're wondering, I might just come into the launch to get a book. It's more than you getting a book. You need the book, but you're coming there is also going to come with a lot of memorable experiences and great opportunities. Allow me to recognize the presence of some of the co-authors in here. It's good to see that you have come. It's good to see that you joined in. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Lynette Kinua. Thank you, Cheryl. I hope this is the same, Cheryl. It's good to have you here just joining in to support. And we are all collectively looking forward to a glorious launch. This webinar is brought to us by Zion Pearl Publishers under the leadership of Mr. Radido, also the director and founder of Zion Pearl Publishers. We have the launch coming up on the 13th of December, and we have availed a registration form for you. If you are not already registered and you'd love to be part of the launch experience, feel free to fill out the form. There are more details in there to guide you, and you can to celebrate with us on the 13th of December. We also will be having books ready for delivery. The book is ready, that it's delivered to you. Do you have a question? Is there something you need clarity on? We are also sharing our contacts. We are going to receive your concerns and to attend to them accordingly. Thank you for joining us today. As we come on this conversation, I just want to know from our two panelists of today, what impact do you hope the book will have on the readers, and especially women aspiring to rise, will have on the readers, and especially women who are aspiring to rise and thrive? I can see Dorothy is already unmuted and ready to speak. You can go ahead, Dorothy.
Yeah. For me, the impact the book will have, and I know the other ladies have written amazing stories about their own journeys. For me, the impact it will have is that it will, how do you put this? It will make rising not look like a far-fetched theory or a story in a book somewhere. It will bring it home. It will make it so real, like you can actually rise. It is possible to actually rise. And it doesn't matter what your rising is, so long as you're clear about what your goal is, then it is possible to actually rise in that journey of yours, and that it is actually possible to both rise and thrive, no matter where you're coming from, no matter where you're starting from. And you can always continuously start and stop again, start and stop. It's your journey. So the stories actually bring that home, that it is possible. We have done it. And this is how we do it, or how we did it. And so I know it will inspire women to actually see that it is possible, that it is not the way you can think it's a fairy tale, or it's just stories we hear about from other people. It will make it realistic, because we all know that the journeys for women is not simple. It has a lot of hurdles and a lot of challenges. But despite or in spite of all that, we are still able to rise. And for me, that is how it will impact the women, to actually believe that it is possible to rise.
I get it. You believe that after interacting with this book, a lady who has always thought like rising and thriving is a far-fetched thing will get to realize that it is something possible, very realistic. There are people who have been there, and they have risen and they are thriving. Powerful. I hope somebody gets to see it from that very perspective. Sylvia, Kaberia, what do you think? What do you hope the readers of your book are going to get from this book? What impact is this book going to have on them?
Okay, well, thank you, Dorothy. So I do not really want to repeat what Dorothy has said, but on top of what she said, I believe that there are women out there who started out something And at some point, they got into challenges that really made them rethink their decisions of starting out in the first place. There are women out there who have given up and gotten back home and said, you know what, I'm just going to quit here. I'm not going to proceed. Maybe later when I have the energy or the grace to is when I'm going to try it again. So I hope this book is going to be a wake-up call for them. This is going to be the sign that such people have been waiting for, to be able to make the next step or steps. Yes.
If anyone is stuck, this is going to stir them up to rise and keep moving forward. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you for that. Now, I know we have people on the call who are listening to us right now, but we also have these conversations shared on our YouTube channel. So that means that there are people who are going to watch it maybe the day after or the days to come, hopefully before the launch. I want you to, as part of the co-authors representing them in this conversation, to give a special invite to whoever will get to listen to you, either today or hours later or days after, before the launch. What kind of invitation would you want to give them? Dorothy.
So, for me, I would want to tell this to the women out there that I know we are winding up for the festive season. We are winding up for Christmas, but treat this as your gift. Treat it as a gift to yourself. To attend the launch is a gift to yourself. And usually we tell Santa that we have been good girls. We have been working hard this year. And we tell Santa, please give us a gift under the Christmas tree. For me, this is a gift to yourself. Whatever we do for ourselves, like paying to attend this launch and coming to join together with other women to listen to their stories, it's a gift to yourself. It's a way to tell yourself, this year, this is how I'm rewarding myself. So I invite you to join this journey of doing it for yourself. There's nothing as powerful. And this is a lesson I've learned all the way from childhood, that it is actually worthwhile when you gift yourself, when you earn what you get. So for me, I'm inviting you, come and listen to our stories, come and listen to our rising and thriving stories. Come and reward yourself with this momentous time to see what Kenyan women are doing out here, to listen to those stories, to have yourself inspired by it. And who knows, perhaps your journey will change in 2025 and you will get onto your trajectory. If you've been having doubts about a journey that you have, if you've been having questions about what career journey to take, about starting out, about digital marketing, this is your opportunity and you are actually doing it for yourself. So I'm inviting you, come listen to us, come listen to our stories, come reward yourself, come be your own Santa, and we will all enjoy the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorothy. So this is going to be a good, or should I call it a perfect Christmas gift for someone. So they want to gift themselves. You want to gift yourself something that will also have an impact in your life. You want to come for this launch. Thank you, Dorothy. Sylvia, please give us your own version of this invitation. Give us a reason to come.
Yes, thank you, Dottie, thank you, Dorothy. Being a person who is actively involved in organizing events and attending so many networking events and webinars and physical events, and I can tell you without the fear of contradiction that for every event that I get to attend, I get to meet people that really change my way of thinking, or rather make it better, as well as so many other opportunities. Like, I have met amazing people that have really been used by God to open opportunities for me in various sectors, in various places that I didn't even know how to get into. So you coming to this particular event, I can tell you for sure, you might not know what exactly, apart from the knowledge, of course, and the inspiration, you might not know what opportunity you being there what opportunities could arise from you being there. So what I would want to tell everyone that is listening to this is you coming to this event is an investment into your future. So we invite you to this launch. Please come. Let's connect. Let's share this moment of hope and inspiration and achievement together. Let's network. Let's connect, interact, and learn from each other.
Thank you, Sylvia. Choosing to be part of this event is a valuable investment into your future. Karibuni sana. I agree with them that it's going to be a good experience. And of course, like Sylvia has said, it is a valuable investment into your future. So you'll not just be coming and having fun, you'll have something that is going to add value to your and career growth. Now it's Dorothy and Sylvia. As we bring the curtains of this meeting down, can you please share with us a closing remark as we draw the curtains of this meeting? And anyone can go first. Okay, Dorothy, with that smile, you can go ahead.
Okay, so my parting shot. It is an amazing journey to be a woman. And it is also an amazing journey to be a woman who is a leader. But it is not easy. So if we can take any lessons, if we can take any shortcuts, if we can learn from people who have done it before us, if we can get to know where the potholes, where are they, which hand do I grasp? How do I network correctly? How do I, from the books I've read, Dottie, from other written by other women, there's something I learned and is very strange that sometimes when you speak, especially in an audience where they are male, most of our societies are chauvinistic. So there's a syndrome called speaking while being female. So it's something, if you're out here and you don't know, you will keep wondering, how come I'm being bypassed when I'm speaking as a point? How come it's not being taken easily? So it's from learning from the people who've gone ahead of us, from the books we've read, from this one that we've documented. As women, it is from these stories that we can pick our own lessons. It's from these stories that we can make our journey less arduous or less daunting, because already it is by the very fact that we are women. So my parting shot is, these things that we learn from people who've gone ahead of us, they make our journey less exhausting. They make it more simple. They make it, you get to know which path do I take. And that is how documentation of stories helps those people who come after us. And for me, my call to the women out there, to everybody actually, including men, let us indulge and listen to these stories and read them and learn from them so that our journey is less exhausting, so that we make less mistakes. Or even if we make mistakes, we are not making those that others have made before us because we've learned from them. So for me, that is my parting shot. It is not easy to be a woman and to be a woman who is a leader, but we can learn to make our journey less exhausting, less daunting by learning from those who've gone ahead of us. That is my parting shot, Dottie.
Thank you for that powerful parting shot. What I'm picking is that we should learn from those who have gone ahead of us so that we can make less mistakes, or on the other side, avoid making the same mistakes they made. Thank you, Dorothy. Sylvia, what will be your parting shot for us today?
Thank you, Dorothy. And Dorothy, that was very well put. So sometimes we believe that we have a lot of things to achieve. We have the vision, we have dreams, and we have a very clear mind about it, knowing that this is what we want to achieve. But sometimes along the way, most of the times actually, you encounter challenges that you did not expect. So to anyone listening to this, what I would like to really tell you would be sometimes when these things happen, it's usually a wake-up call for us to push even harder. It is good to take a rest. It is good to pause and rethink and re-strategize. But it is always very good to know that that's not usually the end. It's not the end. It's actually, whenever you encounter a challenge, it's you being told your journey is being extended. So you have to choose which direction you have to go. Is it to quit? Is it to go forward? So you getting the opportunity to even learn from other people, to embrace growth by the stories that other people that have gone or encountered these things before you and come out successfully on the other side. What I would say is, if you get the opportunity to learn as you grow. Learn as you grow. Along the way, just pick the lessons, pick the learning, learn from other people, learn from your own mistakes, and just keep going. Do not quit. Do not stop. Maybe you can take a pause, but never ever quit learning and moving.
Never quit learning and growing. Grow as you learn. Thank you, Dorothy, Chepkoech, and Sylvia. It has been nice bit of it. We are looking forward to have more of these stories on the 13th of December when we have the launch at the Trademark Hotel beginning 2 p.m. I want to also especially say a special thank you to everyone who has joined us, the co-authors who have made it to be part of this conversation, and the other people who have joined us. This has been possible because we had you as the audience. Thank you. We look forward to having you even in our future pre-launch webinars. This is the first one in this series of How We Rise and Thrive. So we'll be having another one on Wednesday, another one on Monday, and another one on the next Wednesday. If your schedule permits, feel free to look out for the registration link on our social media, on our LinkedIn page, and then you can join us for another conversation on the same topic, how we rise and thrive. I also want to say thank you to the Zion Pearl support team. Behind this screen, there are people who are just working to make sure that everything runs like it should. When I'm knocked out, they try to get me back quickly. And that is why we have been able to proceed with this conversation, even after Zoom really tried to keep me out of it. Thank you very much for the work you do, Zion Pearl team. And finally, I want to say a special thank you to Mr. Dooso Radido, the founder and director of Zion Pearl Publishers, who is also the man behind this project. Thank you for availing such a platform for women to come share their stories to impact other women. With that, we come to the close of this conversation, and I want to wish you all a very good evening. And if your schedule permits, I repeat, look out for registration links for the upcoming pre-launch webinars and of course the webinar, and just be part of them, for you will not leave the same way you come in. Asanteni sana and have a good evening.